Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. Please, everyone, take your seats. It's always a little more challenging on the third Friday when we have a meal and we had a 60th birthday and lots of cake, and there's some cake left over if anybody wants it. Although it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and I think it fell over, but it'll still taste good. I'll tell you what, if you could turn in your prayer books to Yeti Nefesh on 128, we'll start with that. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So Yeti Nefesh, as you see, it says, Heart's delight, source of mercy, draw your servant into your arms. I leap like a deer to stand in awe before you. So it is our responsibility, it's our challenge and our blessing to always reach for that awe-inspired connection that we have with the divine. Yeti Nefesh, especially on Shabbat. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to move on to the other prayers in your book. For those of you that are new here, the book goes right to left. It's the way that we read in, the Hebrew text. And those of you that want to learn how to read those Hebrew letters that we have up here, please join my class. It will be starting the first Thursday in March. It's very important that I hear from you. We need to know whether we're going to start and go from 5 to 6, or 5:30 to 6:30, or 6 to 7. So please join us in that class. We're going to meditate on the Hebrew letters, and then we are going to learn how to put them together and read. It's important for you also to know, before we sing Yeti Nefesh, you can tinkle away if you'd like. The National Council of Jewish Women, shh, please everyone, sheka b'vakasha. Quiet, please. This is Repro Shabbat, Reproduction Shabbat, and it's actually the third year. This is the anniversary of the third year. And so we're going to pass these out, and if you would like to take them home, please do. There's some information and a link all this weekend across all Shabbat, and probably Saturday night and Sunday across the country. Different synagogues will be doing things based upon whether or not a woman should have an abortion. And so we don't get political on our bima here, so I'm passing this out for you. But in Jewish law, in post-biblical Jewish law, such as the Mishnah and the Talmud, they say that the rabbis further stipulated that the life of a pregnant person takes precedence over the life of a fetus up until the baby's first breath. So there's some information for you to look at, and please be sure to take this with you when you go and be aware. So deep breath in. Deep breath out. And if you're at home and you want that information, feel free to email me. Yeti Nefesh, page 128.
Kever
And now if you'll turn to page 142, we're going to welcome in the Sabbath angels with Shalom Aleichem. It is said that the angels are watching and peeking through the windows to see if we're actually observing Shabbat. And here we all are, doing what we are meant to be doing, commanded, even in this parsha, to observe the Sabbath. Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Halachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lohem LeShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, And so now we are going to welcome in Shabbat with the kindling of the lights. And are you up for it, Diana? Do you want to do it? In honor of your girl's birthday. I don't know where. Oh, Amy is over here playing ukulele. Amy, do you want to come up and light the Shabbat candles with your mom?
I don't light candles very well.
Well, you just have to stand there and look good. It's your birthday. And Mary, you can come up too. So Diana with her two lovely daughters welcoming Shabbat, kindling that light. So the candles represent the loving partnership between two individuals, also Am Yisrael and Adonai. So all you need to do, the candle blessing is on page 120. And we're going to just light the candles and make 3 circles and draw that light into our heart and our being for this Shabbos period. And especially because it's Amy's 60th birthday. Oh, she is really 40. Everybody here is 20 years younger than their calendar age. Why? Because we make a happy noise unto the Lord. So we're going to light the one candle and the other, and then let that light radiate our being as we make the connection. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Anything that's gone on up to this sacred moment of worship, just blow it out. But not the candles. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And we make those 3 circles. Cover right there. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Hug someone next to you or yourself and say Shabbat Shalom. Please remember, we do have cake back there if you want to take some home with you. Good Shabbos, everyone. Be careful when you go down the stairs. Okay. Go ahead with Mira. She's going to go. Okay, then go this way. And you guys match. Yeah, you planned it that way. Okay. All right. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, you guys. So now if you'll turn to Lecha Dodi on page 138, we're going to welcome in the Sabbath bride. Once again, showing that we are observing the Sabbath. Let's get you into the melody. Please be seated. And now we will turn to page 144. And we will do the reading on the bottom of 145 first, and then we have our Hatzikadish, which separates the Kabbalat Shabbat kind of warm up for our soul portion, and then the Baruch Hu, our official call to worship. So bottom of 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the present. 144. Vikra, Vikra Shemei Rabba, Ve'alma Divrach Yirtei V'yam Lichachutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayedecho Ve'Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, V'bizman Karevi Maro. Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevarach, Le'alam lo me'amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitkar v'yitramah v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalah, Shemei d'Kedusha, Le'la min kol berchata, v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechemata, da'amihiran ve'alma v'yimeru. Amen. And the Baruch Hu can be found on page 146. Yai, dai, dai, yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, yai, dai, 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 yai, dai, dai. Please be seated. And now we have our Ma'ariv, our Ravine prayer, our evening prayer. But first, let us read on the bottom of 149. This is a time of change, an hour of change, and within it we actually have so much possibility on Shabbat. We have the opportunity to rest, refresh, renew, and start again, hopefully for a Shavua Tov, a good week, and a week that's better than the past. And we pray for this with all of our might on this Shabbat for the entire world. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of life. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of life. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim. ובגדונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. And now we're going to turn to the Shema on page 152. So if it's your custom to stand, to make that connection to the moment of the mountain, please do in the Shema, or if you'd like to be seated in the cocoon of your own being, to get inside yourself with these ancient words, these powerful words, and make that connection to yourself and all that is holy within you, around you, and with God. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Please be seated and take a moment to do the readings on page 154 and 155, either one. The ones directly under the prayer are the most literally connected to the translation of the Hebrew, and the ones on the left side in this prayer book and our High Holy Days, those Maksurim, we go ahead and read the one on the left side, which makes it more celestial, eclectic, whatever. So take a moment, take a deep breath, and take a look. So, have you made the connection? Have you read your words? What are we supposed to do? This is important because we had the commandments last Shabbat, and this Shabbat we get rules to enforce them. So, underneath the actual text, what does it say? Let's read it. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. So it goes on, but this is what we're supposed to do. Take these commandments, process them, internalize them, and live them. The Ve'ahavta, page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשירתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. There is a lot going on in this world. You heard on the news about the 2 Jewish individuals that were shot on Pico Robertson, just steps away from where my daughter's condo is. This is not the world we're meant to have, but this is the world that we're creating. When you look at what's going on in Ukraine and all across the world, in politics, everything, we're kind of in a mess, don't you think? And it takes faith, prayer, and a devotion to that Emet, to everything that is true and just in this world. And people need to get back to those values or find those values. COVID has messed everyone up. Do you believe that? We have to adapt to a new world order. And this is what happened after the flood at the time of Noah, or the time, the Tower of Babel. Like, we have to take responsibility for our world and heal it. But we can't do that if we don't heal ourselves. So what we do in the world is affected by how we are inside. So if you're angry inside and you're belligerent and you're upset, or you feel like a victim or hurt or betrayed or put upon, then your interactions with other people might reflect that. But if you are happy, like when we say in the Ashrei on Shabbat on a Saturday, if you're happy are those who dwell in God's house, if you're happy inside, and you will radiate happiness. And even if you're not necessarily happy talk, keep talking, happy talk, one of the first songs I ever to sing. But if you're not exactly happy, you know the phrase, fake it till you make it? If you put a smile on your face when you're feeling most sad, that's the song, smile though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. If you do that, you will affect your being. So everyone right now make a frown. Now smile your brightest smile. You laugh, you feel the change. So if you find yourself getting depressed, if you find yourself being bogged down, if you find yourself just, doom surfing on your phone, just, take a moment, take a breath, and smile. And change your dialogue, change your moment. So let's read on the bottom of page 157, and then we have the Micha Mocha when we dance, and we change the moment, we change the mood. Together, bottom of 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace, and then all shall rejoice. We will rejoice as all Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea, our Micha Mocha, page 158. If you want to dance, feel free, or you want to boogie in your pew, go ahead. So if you'll turn to page 161 at the top, let's do this reading. Let there be love and understanding among us, and let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu, page 160. Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim For us Aleinu Sukkah Shlomecha For us, Aleinu Sukkah Shlomecha. Amen. Ufaros, Shalom Echa. And together on the bottom of page 160 above the Hebrew, blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over all of Jerusalem. And now, if you will turn to the Shamru on page 162, we are commanded and once again reminded to keep Shabbat in this parsha. Let us read underneath the text. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel, for in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. V'shamru. More than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, berit olam, b'nei Israel, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'yom hashvi Shabbat Shabbat v'yinavash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinavash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinavash Shabbat Shabbat v'yinavash. Please rise if you're able as the ark is open for the Amidah as we remember our ancestors on the next few pages. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hastei Avot v'Imahot, who may be Gillah, Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah, Rav LaHoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem. Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Berofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevuro, Umido Mehalah, Melech Memi, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom, Yahalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh. As the ark is being closed, please be seated. Well, Mark Riker, we missed your 83rd birthday for a second bar mitzvah. And you know, he's up here, he knows everything, he knows all the prayers, he knows how to sing it, and he sings out with such passion and gusto. What say we do it at 90? And we have a big party. Or what say we do it at 88? I know, so I'm saying, let's go for 90. You know you're going to have to make it beyond that with vim and vigor, and it's going to be your 13 bar mitzvah rejuvenating you. Not that you need it, because you go more than the rest of us, but I'm just putting it out there. Wouldn't you all like to have a big party for Mark's 90th and see a bar mitzvah? And he can come up here and he can lead everything. I could just sit down and you could do it all. So anyway, have your whole family here. So think about it. I'm planting the seeds on Shabbat. Okay. See, no one's ever going to want to sit up here again. You saying okay, he's going to think about it. Okay, we're all, just everybody wants to share the love with Mark. Shabbat Shalom. Our parsha this Shabbat is Mishpatim, and a lot happens in it. Laws are given ranging from the treatment of slaves, murder, adultery, and theft, to giving kindness to the strangers. There are laws relating to loans, the giving of loans, and the responsibility that is taken upon by the 4 guardians, as well as rules governing the conduct of justice by courts of law. Commands were given, but now rules are given to enforce them. So we got those commandments last Shabbat, but now what are we going to do with it? If someone steals, if someone commits adultery, what are we going to do? So this is where we're taking those steps towards that. There are more laws which follow. This Shabbat, including, we've got the commandment to observe the sabbatical year. Once again, the reminder to keep Shabbat. We have the mitzvah of prayer. So doing this prayer work that you're doing, this is a mitzvah. You are elevating yourself, your soul, and the world. And then the command to observe the 3 pilgrimage festivals. Which one's coming up sooner than we think? Passover, Pesach. And then the rules of sacrificial offerings, which we have to do in a different way now. At the command to not cook meat with milk. Some people want to mix their meat with their dairy. Here we just put it on separate parts of the table and you make your own decisions. But this is where the command is. The people essentially, officially enter into the covenant with God. Moses and his highest leaders ascend the mountain and see God. Remember, the people last Shabbat didn't want to see God. When there was thunder and fire, they were like, it's too much for us. Take it away. No, Moses, you talk to God. So now Moses is not doing it alone. We heard several weeks ago, his father-in-law said, you should spread out the responsibilities, and all the different tribes have different magistrates and leaders and things. And so now some of them went up with him onto the mountain to actually see and witness, bear witness to God. And then at the end, Moses stays up there longer, 40 days on the mountain, to receive the full Torah, not just the 10 Commandments. This parsha has within it 53 mitzvot, 23 commanded what you shall do, and 30 no, you cannot do that. This Shabbat, we're going to actually delve a little bit into what I mentioned at the beginning, the laws of the guardian. I don't think we've ever covered this before. So there are 4 types outlined in the Torah. The first one is the unpaid guardian. Since he receives no benefit from watching the item, he is not going to be liable if the object is lost or stolen, unless he has been negligent. And then we have the next 2, the paid guardian and the renter. Both of them receive some benefit and are obligated to pay in a case where the object was lost or stolen. Why? Because they benefited from it. And then we go on to another category, which is very important, but we need to know first with the 2, the paid guardian and the renter, that if the object is destroyed by an event that was not in their control, let's say there was an earthquake or a flood or a fire, then they're a little bit exonerated. But yet the 4th guardian, the borrower, has the greatest liability because he receives all of the benefit as he uses the object without paying for it. The borrower is liable to pay, even if the object was destroyed by an event outside the borrower's control. The Torah outlines commands, mitzvot, rewards, and punishments. However, when it comes to laws about money, these laws are seen in another way. They are seen to be providing an actual foundation, a structure for the society to function upon. The Israelites were being taught ways of behavior and accountability beyond what they ever knew about as slaves in Egypt. They just received those commandments last week, as we said, but now in Mishpatim are getting the procedures and the ordinances to follow. So for our lawyers, this is what is thought to be the first torts. Mishpatim itself means ordinances. Yet the layer is like the bloomin', the Torah has got all these different layers, like that bloomin' onion, or like an artichoke, and you unpack it and you unfold so much more is revealed than just what's written that we read. It is thought, like all other parts of the Torah, that these details reveal deep psychological and spiritual truths. The Kabbalists believe that the 4 guardians represent 4 different states of mind that we have in relation to God, as well as in relation to our soul and our purpose as co-partners in God's creation. The Torah tells us that God created Adam and placed him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. God entrusts us with a spiritual soul and gives us a mission to work it and guard it. We are meant to preserve and increase our goodness in the world with how we till our own being. God entrusts us with a spiritual soul, gives us this mission, and yet, do we see this happening today? It was deemed vital thousands of years ago that the foundation of a just society would have this practice of observance, of layers, of ordinances, of following these rules, and yet we still have challenges today as a global humanity who are not able to achieve this as God intended almost 6,000 years ago. Our soul's evolution is an ongoing process, and we are all up in each other's business, whether we like it or not. And our choices have a domino effect that weighs upon us all. We are meant to construct healthy relationships with each other and even with ourselves. We are to understand that someone isn't always going to win. We aren't supposed to always give or guard with the benefit of receiving something in return. We have to, at times, become the more altruistic guardian and mature to the point of being able to provide commitment and selfless devotion. This, as I said, actually I haven't said this yet, it's Shabbat Mishpatim, but it's also Shabbat Shekelim, where a portion, shekels, were given to support the ongoing costs of keeping the tabernacle. This is as important, maybe even more important today, as faith is waning, synagogues and Jews are under attack all over the world, and the need to keep things going is even more pressing. This Shabbat comes right before Purim, when we recall Haman and all of his predecessors and his descendants. We're talking Amalek, and then we're talking Hitler and others who sought to destroy us. To tell the story, to remember, and then to drink and obliterate that name, that evil, so we don't know the difference between cursed be Haman and blessed be Mordecai. Why? We're going to have a margarita machine, we're going to have chocolate martinis, apple martinis, we're going to have jello shots, we're going to have all kinds of stuff. Why? Because there should always be balance. Like the yin and the yang, the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer HaTov, the influence to do evil and good is always there. We have to be the guardians of our soul. We have to guard its journey and our choices and their impact upon ourselves, each other, and our world. We need to know that sometimes we will want to benefit directly from what we need to do and what we're doing. But then there are times when we must just do it for the sake of doing. Anonymous giving is thought to be the most high form for this very reason. The gift that is given without any expectation of personal gain, acknowledgement, or reward on high. We have tried multiple times to create an endowment fund for the temple, and as far as I know, only one person has formally done this, who will remain anonymous in my sermon, therefore to receive the greatest blessing on high. Sometimes people tell me. Sometimes they tell me before they're sick. Sometimes they tell me while they're sick. And I don't want to get up too much in it because I'm there pastorally. But sometimes people tell me that they want to give money for the temple, or they want to give a house to the temple, or they want to do this or do that, but they don't write it down. And then the families have to decide what to do. And it's not always what the person wanted. Sometimes we're surprised, and a gift is given that is unexpected. Or maybe it's more money than the person had told us. Sometimes absolutely nothing is given. There's all kinds of circumstances and things that happen in the world and in our lives. But the choice is up to us individually and our soul. My children know, and it is written down, and I sent this sermon to my daughter lest she forget. And she sent me an email back thanking me, said she needed that Temple Emet will receive a certain portion. But also the synagogue in Dallas, where we all got our start. So at the time when I was discussing this originally with my children, the question was asked, why? Why them? Why the ones in Dallas? You know, if anything, give Emet double, but why them? What if the money is needed for other things? What if we need that money? And I said, we wouldn't be living the lives we are living, doing the things that we are doing today, were it not for our time. There was a pledge made during that endowment campaign, and it will be kept. Shabbat Shekalim, thousands of years ago, God knew that money would need to be set aside, not just then, but for eternity. Set aside to support the future of the faith and its sustainability. And we had to be commanded to do it. We still have to be commanded to do it. We are not always in touch with that guardian aspect of our soul's journey, or our place in the hierarchy of what it means to guard, borrow, rent, or selflessly give. A healthy relationship is one in which both parties benefit from the relationship. That is what is supposed to happen in our dealings with each other, and that is what is supposed to happen in our dealings and in our relationship with God. God created Adam to work and till the garden for benefit, as much as we are meant to work on behalf of God, as co-partners in this world, as the keepers of the faith. For in so doing, God blesses us and provides us with our material and our spiritual needs. The Kabbalists say, just like in human relationships where there are different levels, so too is our relationship with God. No one is exempt. On one end, there is a person who is primarily interested in receiving the benefits that life has to offer. Give me, please do this for me, please do that for me. And what do I tell you when you pray? Always add on for the purpose of sharing. Not for myself alone, but for the purpose of sharing. And then on the other end, there is the person who is the unpaid guardian. He or she is in love with God, so much so to the point of being completely altruistic. His or her motivation is to serve God and to do the right thing for its own sake. In our personal relationships, there are times when we should benefit, and yet we must also experience selfless devotion at times to our partner, sometimes even when feeling it not. The same holds true in our relationship with God. At times we will be a borrower, motivated primarily by our own needs and desires. But we should always seek those precious moments when we transcend our own ego and act as an unpaid guardian, motivated primarily by the desire to devote ourselves to our beloved. We do this in our relationships with our other humans in our world, and we must do this with God. So as we go forth through this Shabbat Shekalim of Mishpatim, Let us think about the times when we have been a borrower, expecting full benefit and gain. And then let us think about the times when we were unpaid, an unpaid guardian, giving fully and completely with no expectation of reward except for the act, the mitzvah, the gift of being able to do it. Being able to help another person, being able to uplift someone, being able to serve and uplift the community, whatever it takes to do that selflessly. We are all blessed with different gifts from God. Abundance comes in many forms. If you are blessed with an abundance of time, ask yourself how you're spending it, especially as time goes on and you start to retire or whatever. What are you doing with it? The same holds true with financial resources. Even if it's just a mere shekel, or whether it's an abundant flow, how will you share it? If you have been blessed, how will you share it? Yes, there will always be places that it needs to be put, but where can you altruistically give to elevate and make a difference? We cannot take it with us. Every shekel counts. Every action makes a difference. May we be selfless, and may we be devoted in our choices. And as our soul's greatest guardian, may we find merit and blessing on high for our choices, our devotion, and our pledge to uphold and observe and be there for the beloved beside us and the beloved around us. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So, thank you. Every day this week, Mark's been saying, did you write your sermon? Did you write your sermon? Did you write your sermon? Because it's been a crazy week. And I think I've told you before, I don't ever want to leave it till Friday. And so, I don't know, every day I was like, oh, where is it? Tell me what you want me to say. And then this morning, I said to Mark, this is like a High Holy Day sermon. It's not just a short Shabbat sermon. I actually pared down one page. But, so, whatever I said, you were meant to hear it. Each and every one of you in this room, and those of you out there. This is what God wanted us to learn on this Shabbat Mishpatim and Shekelim. Okay, so now if you'll turn to 371, we're going to go to the Mishaberach. We have so many people in our community that are in need of a prayer of healing and an uplifting of spirit, and there's so many people around the world as well. It has been brought to my attention, as so many things are. Those of you that are here, you get to vote. And then I will take it to the board. Board members, some of you are here. Take a look around, see what the people say. We stopped saying all the names in the Mishaberach, partially because it became a popularity contest. And no matter how many times I said, just please say the name once and listen for it, you'd hear it 4, 5, 6, 7 times. In Judaism, that's great, because the name has powerful influence and it shifts the energy in the world. But then when one person's got 2 people and one name's been said 7 times, I was told by people that, that was not right. And when the names take 20 minutes, especially at High Holy Days, I have been told this is not right. Other people say we should have a pulpit folder or a sheet every Shabbat that has the lists of the Mishaberach and the yard sites, the anniversaries of people's death. And so what I say to that is, who wants to step up and volunteer to do it? Who has time in abundance to do it? Because we don't have secretaries here. We have Dan, me, and Brian, and that's it, and then all the volunteers, but all the volunteers are busy because it's been 13 years of volunteering. Okay? So, but I did say, then it was, could you just list the names? And I said, but someone has to make the list. And the problem with that is if someone's name is left off, then guess what? I hear about that too. But, as an experiment, how many of you feel that you would like to stand and say all the names? People have lists, and sometimes the lists have multiple names. All the names of the people that you want to share a prayer of healing for, versus just sitting there and remembering them in your own mind and being and seeing them in your own heart. If you want us to have everyone stand and say their names aloud, raise your hand. Board members, take note. Okay, let it be known there is one person in this room. Okay, those out there in the cyberspace world, you can email me. But it's not, I said I'm open to doing whatever, but we have to take in mind the balance, the yin and the yang. We have to figure out where we are and who we have to do it. And if there's a group of people that want to do it, then maybe then they should be the ones to take it on. But maybe they're doing other things. So, that being said, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Think about the ones, there's so many. Think about the people in our own community. Think about the people that you love in your own family, in your own friend circle. Think about the violence that has been so desperately wrought, especially since the beginning of this year. It's been terrible. But always, even since COVID, with everyone. Thank you, Marcia, for everything that you've done. Think about that. Think about the people that you love. And say their names in your heart. We do want to give a special prayer out for Paul, who's still in the hospital fighting to stay alive. But we have many people in our community that are home trying to stay alive as well. We have people here in this room that are trying to stay alive. And so I am the one sole person committed to making sure, along with God, that each and every one of you gets as much time as you can get. And some of you in this room know how committed I am to that. But then when it's time to move on, you know, it's the greatest gift to help that soul go. So please, let's gather our energy. The prayers are felt. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. See your loved ones in your mind's eye. Send them your prayers of love. And we ask that these prayers for a refuah shlema of body and spirit not only be for those that we love, but for sharing throughout the world. Mi shemera avotenu mekor habracha leivotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shemera imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And while I was singing the prayer, I got a message to also tell you, remember we've already voted, it isn't just saying the name. Sometimes people know something about someone and will say their name with the best of intentions, and that person didn't want people to know they were sick. And that happens a lot, because people know we mean well, we love this prayer, we want to give that energy out, but once you say it, everyone in the community knows, and so there's many, many reasons. It's like I said, it's like the layers, the complex layers of the Torah. Everything has this and that about it. Okay, page 586, the Aleinu, as we close off our service, and then we do the Kaddish, and then we'll have some announcements, and we'll bring up the birthday people with Amy leading the way. Please rise if you're able as we do the Aleinu. Bottom paragraph. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gidla liyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzo, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please be seated. And then as is our custom, we have to ask people to stand and say the names of their loved ones who moved on. We do that. That's very important. But then it was also brought up to me that maybe we should just print it out and have me say all the names, because sometimes people cannot be here. And so maybe what we do is, if you want a name said aloud on the bima, then for a particular Shabbat, then you're not going to be here, then, maybe you email me, and don't get upset if somehow it gets lost in the shuffle, and, you make a donation or something for the temple. But we really encourage you, come to services in the sanctuary. Doesn't it feel good to be here? We're generating the energy, but if you can't and you're at home, we're good with that. But please stand and say your own person's name as loud as you can when we get to that point. So, turn to page 598. And what we're going to do is have first a person, if you've lost someone in the last week, would you please rise and say your loved one's name? If you've lost someone in the last 30 days, the Shloshim period, would you rise and say your loved one's name? Last 30 days. If you have lost someone in the last 11 months, and this is where it is okay to duplicate it if we have multiple family members, because everyone is mourning.
Aunt Shirley and her son, 2 months later, died.
Stay standing.
My sister, Muriel Nachman, and just terrible. Shirley Tyler.
Vera? Amy? Dan? Sorry, Vera. And if you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death, please say the name, stand up and raise your hand.
My Uncle Bernie.
My stepfather, Bernie Campbell. My stepmom, Laura Hartstein.
Elias? Anybody else have a yard site Harriet? Albert Pagach, Edwin Gonzalez Arroyo. Anybody else? At home, please say your names. If you would all please rise, we will say the Kaddish prayer as one community. I'll raise my hand when I say V'yimaru. You can say Amen. Yit Gadol v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach yeruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman karib v'imru Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei l'kudashah b'rechu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran ve'alama v'imro. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imro. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imro. Amen. May God, who is the author of everything that is seen and unseen, the creator of life as we know it, go ahead and grant perfect peace to our loved ones in the heavenly realm. Peace to those that are suffering so much around the world. Peace to those here who are suffering so much with a sense of loss. And it's not easy to get over it. And you never really do. We just move forward and we remember. We ask God, bring that shalom, that peace. Please be seated. Now, if you had a birthday in this month, well, actually, you know what? Diane is really excited to give the announcements. We'll do the announcements, then we'll do the birthday and the Birkat Kohanim and sing our final song. I do want to, who would like to pass these out? Harriet, thank you. So this is all the information you need, Repro Shabbat with information on the back. There is a link at the bottom, and you can find out lots more. Thank you, Harriet.
I've been told I'm excited. Do I look excited? So be it. Shabbat Shalom. So welcome to all of you who are here in our building and those at home watching on our live stream. And Mark Tannen, thank you so much for all the work you do on the live stream. Our service and flowers are sponsored tonight by me, because Amy actually got to be 60 years old yesterday, but we celebrated it today. And she can't believe she's 60, and neither can I. Because if she's 60, what does that make me? We don't want to go there. All right, anyway, we had a special birthday cake. There's plenty left over. If you didn't get any birthday cake when the service is over, please help yourself, because it's really good, and we promise it has absolutely no calories. All right, so I lied.
Diana, also, I think Marcia put boxes out there for people if they want to take some home.
Oh, good, there are boxes. So if you want to take some home and you don't want to eat it here, you can do that too. We provide lots of good stuff to everybody. Anyway, thank you so much to Marcia Crabtree for all her work in arranging the dinner tonight. Rabbi, that was an exceptional, exceptional service and speech. It really reached me, you know, and I wasn't all that reachable earlier today. So, yeah, it got through, and I hope it got through to you too. Thank you to our talented musical people, Dan Spector. There is nobody like Dan. And our terrific musicians, Marianne on violin, and Amy on baritone uke, and Stacy on percussion. And Hilda, we miss you. Your harp is not here, but we know you're here in spirit. Our next service is Friday, March 3rd. And dinner after the service will be at DeRoma's. And they promised to have a third cook just for us so that we won't have to wait. I like them. We'll give them a shot. The next lunch bunch is Wednesday, March 15th. We went to Good Stuff, and we liked it, so we're going to go back. And it's going to be at 11:45, March 15th. March 15th.
And,
Yeah.
that's in Palos Verdes.
Palos Verdes, yes, Good Stuff in Palos Verdes at 11:45, and please let me know if you are coming. Our classes, contact Rabbi Didi for information about the Hebrew alphabet, meditation, letter connection, recognition, eventual prayer reading. Torah study, Judaism, Bible, folklore study with Mark Tannen. That's 2 Tuesdays? First and third Tuesdays. And then on 2 Saturdays?
Yeah, the first and third Tuesday and the first and third Saturday after a service is Torah study.
Okay.
Unless he sends a notice out.
Okay, so the emails will come out and tell you. Monday, of course, Eastern meditation with Roger Peterson on Zoom. And Thursday, February 23rd, right, Dan?
Oh, no, Wednesday the 22nd.
I thought we were doing Thursday.
Did you?
No, I wouldn't. I would think it would be Wednesday. It's always Wednesday because Dan has rehearsals with the band on Thursday.
Okay, so it's going to be Wednesday, February 22nd. Send out an email. That's Dan's music class on Zoom. Please, are we still bringing canned goods?
Yes, no. Well, they're going to assemble them on the 2nd, and our next service is the 3rd.
Okay, so the canned goods that are...
Where are they going to put them?
Where
But I
the
mean,
others?
okay, you know what we'll do? We'll put a box outside like we did before during the High Holy Days. And if anyone wants to drop off cans, please do. If you want to bring more towels, the big ones at Kohl's, then go ahead and bring them with you. You know, just go ahead and bring them with you on the first Friday in March. They might not make it they were going to be the centerpieces for Purim, but, you know, it's more important to bring them. So you have one more shot. The first service, thank you, Mark. The first service in March. Bring your dry goods, your canned goods, and the towels. If you go online for Kohl's, it's like $6.99 on sale for $4.99, or buy one for $6.99, get one half off. But even if you just get 1 or 2 towels, they desperately need them for the tiny villages in Torrance. There are 40 residents, and they need those towels, and then those people move out, and then they need more towels. So.
Okay. We need the small ones, because those large ones that you've got, we have to take it to an actual food pantry that cooks, but for the small ones, the people can have.
Yeah, so there are those that feed the people, and so the large cans are average around $6 a can, and it's like 4 or 5 times what you get in the smaller cans. So we're taking it to both places, both types of places.
Right, so if you want to get a big can, go ahead. If you want to get a big one towel, do that. If you just want to, remember now Passover's coming, so you could start your Passover cleaning and clean out your cupboards and bring the stuff that, I noticed a bunch of people brought a lot of matzah. My office is overrun.
Okay, thank you. Our Purim party is Saturday, March 4. You've got to watch your emails for coming details. It's going to be great fun. We have been promised that Hamantashen also has no calories. And the Jell-O shots and the chocolate martinis and the margaritas are also calorie-free, I promise you. Promises, promises.
And you don't
Pizza
have to
and
feel
salad.
obligated to wear a costume. We're not making it costumes this year. There are going to be Marshall got crowns and noise blowers and
And
rockers
masks.
and masks. So, you know, that's dress festive.
Yes, and there will be pizza and salad for dinner and lots of merrymaking. So you don't want to miss this. You've got to come. Anything else I've missed?
Well, they should keep their eyes out because right after the beginning of March, the Passover, they have to get their RSVPs in for Passover.
Right, there will be an email going out about Passover, and you will have to order your Passover Seder dinner, and you will need to tell us who you want to sit with, because my job, again this year, is seating people at tables where they want to sit. It is so much fun. I would gladly give this to somebody else, but there is no somebody else who wants to do it. I can't imagine why.
Well, you can take a break, and then you can come to the movie night. We're going to have another movie night. We went to 80 for Brady in this month, and everybody had a great time. We had like 15 people, and then we went out to eat. And now we're going to do the other Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin movie. They're just rocking and rolling, those two. And that's going to be one day in March after it opens, maybe towards the end of March.
Okay, so watch your emails, everybody,
And sign up for my Hebrew meditation letter class.
because there's going to be a test.
There's no test. It's between you, your soul, and God.
There's going to be a test. I don't know where or how, but there will be. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you very much, Diana. Dr. Diana. Thank you so much. Actually, you might as well stay up here. Because Amy's coming up and Scott and Mira are coming up. We're going to bless her for her birthday first, and then we'll have everyone else come up. Okay. So as Amy and Mira, go ahead, Scott, come on up. They're coming forward. As you know, Diana has been our president for a very long time. Marianne, our violinist, will be taking over, and Diana will be by your side every moment, helping you along the way. But we're all very fortunate to have this family that gives so selflessly and so generously. And Amy, she plays at High Holy Days, and she plays on Shabbat, and she gives of herself both as a healer and as a teacher. And so if you need some celestial healing, you need to come to Amy, because she's very good with that. So would everyone please rise as we open the Ark? And you guys kind of turn, you're not supposed to have your back to the Torah. I'm just going to open up the Ark. I know your Father is looking down upon us and is with us right now. As we open up these Torah scrolls, he's with the whole source of the universe up there. I've heard that you had lots of temperature changes in your house and the dogs went crazy, and we believe in those things. So we stand before these Torah scrolls, and there's 3, and there are the 3 of you females left, and you've got Cameron and you have Scott. But you guys are the matriarchs keeping it going. And your Father is whoosh, and God is whoosh, right there with you all the time. And as you go forward into this next chapter, that's going to be even greater than the first 60 years. May you be blessed on high with the blessing of Torah for that which you give, both selflessly and with your family, how much you also give and share. We wouldn't be Emet without you guys. And I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have Mira take care of me in the other place. So there we go. So there's so much to be grateful for. So we're going to close up the Ark so that you guys can gather together without your backs to the people. And everybody, who else had a birthday this month? Come on up. Lynn, come on up. Dan, come on up. Elias, oh my gosh. Okay, so everybody, I want you to take a look. All these people give tirelessly, all of them. Elias, Lynn, Sandra, Diana, Amy, here we've got Dan, all these people. Everyone gives so much. They are the guardians of Temple Emet. Nancy, you had a birthday. Your dad is with you as well. And here you are with us. May his memory be for a blessing, along with Tony's and everybody else. May you have many more years of music, and may you share them with Emet and uplift us like you do so often. May it be exciting and passionate and full of light and spirit and ruach. Lynn, may you have the strength and the fortitude to keep watching over the money. May it not depress you or excite you too much. Elias, may you keep this building afloat, and may Hashem bless us. May God bless us so we can stay in it for as long as possible. And Sandra, everything that you do, keeping the minutes, making all those corrections, and Mark and Sandra, they're the 2 people whenever I need anything that's outside of the ordinary, outside of the box, and maybe a little too hard to say yes to, they're the ones to do it. So they are the highest form of giving of yourselves. They even took in our Ukrainian man, our Russian man. So we're very grateful. May you be blessed. May you have the koyach, the strength to continue to give in the way that you do. Well, we're channeling it right now. So we have Nancy, you were a rock for your father. May you be blessed. You saw to everything that he needed and to the family. So may you be blessed for what you've done. And may you eventually move into his house here in Torrance so you can be with us all the time. And then your friend can come visit with you all the time. So we have everyone. Scott and Maren, may this be a good year for you both, and may all your dreams be fulfilled with Tony as your guardian angel watching on your side. Everybody else, may all your dreams be realized. What for? The purpose of sharing. So we're going to bless each other. We say, Kain, Rahim, Rason, in between. May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you and be with you always and grant you strength. Sonny, you have something to say before the prayer. We're going to do birthdays right now. Well, do you have an anniversary? Does anyone have an anniversary? That was January, but we had a big party for them when they had, remember? We had a whole big thing. Well, it's like a minute. So mazel tov to you. I know you're going to have many more years of wedded bliss because you're the best partners that, really, you're an example for us all. Yivarechacha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Kein Yehi Ratzon. Do you guys want to sit down or you want to sing the closing song up here? Okay, Dan is going to go do what he does. Everybody up here is going to sing, and let's do Oseh Shalom because everybody knows it.
Okay.
And we can clap and do that. That'll make it easier. And thank you, everyone who participated, everyone. Thank you to Marsha for the dinner. Thank you to all of our musicians, our people on the Bima. Thank you to Sunny for bringing up the anniversaries so we can be reminded about Mark and Sandra. And thank you to you for showing up, and thank you to those of you in the cyberspace world. Okay, are we ready? Does anyone want to shake the tambourine? Here, I have another one too. Well, get our ruach on. You can have the manly one. Okay, are we ready?